Hi everyone. Today I am back with review of part 3 of that 90s show. So I watched the first two parts and I thoroughly enjoyed them. So I was surprised and excited to see part 3 come out so soon. It was really interesting to see that. Um, I was not expecting that, honestly. But I enjoyed parts one and part two. And I mentioned this before in my previous review as well. Maybe because I was raised in the 90s, I kind of relate to how they're doing and what they're feeling. And I found the show a little bit more interesting than the That 70s show. It was just something that I felt. Um, Surprisingly, part three, they kind of dropped the ball there for me. The show became less interesting. The stories became, even though the stories were really good, like, um, you know, what happens after they ram the car through Kitty and Red's wall. I was very curious to see how they were going to handle that, and it started off well, but for some reason, when they got to the actual story of it, it kind of became not funny, not interesting. I don't know how else to put it. It was really confusing for me to grapple through that because I was enjoying parts one and two so much, and part three was kind of like, yeah, we have the story, we're telling you what's going on, but it was not fun and not interesting anymore. It was really weird in a way. I didn't see it coming. Um, we hear that Eric is not going to come back, which I was expecting that. Um, but it was, I think what they need to do is they need to stick to the stories the way they are told in a way they did in parts one and parts two. I felt the part three storytelling was a little bit different, and it was not as interesting anymore. Like, uh, you know, like without getting to the spoiler, somebody goes on a date and how they go on a date, and it could have been such a fun thing to do, and it was supposed to be funny, and they tried to make it funny and interesting, but it just wasn't. I was just sitting there watching, and I'm like, yeah, this is not fun. This is boring. It really was. But the show ended pretty well. It definitely threatens part four, which I'll be curious to see what they do with it. I hope they kind of come back from part three. It was not crazy bad. It was just not as fun and enjoyable to watch as the earlier two parts. It was okay, which is disappointing in a way because I was hoping it to be fun and interesting like the first two. So if you watched that 90s show, please tell me what you think about it and what did you think about the first one, that 70s show? Were you into it? Were you not into it? Because I know a lot of people who were into it. I just was never into it. Just didn't find it that interesting. But 90s show kind of did a good job of taking the baton and running with it, and I felt good about that. So for me, part three was kind of a letdown, but I'm looking forward to part four. Hopefully, they'll do it better, and it'll be more fun to watch. Um, if you have seen it, I would love to know what you think. Please like, share, and subscribe my channel, and thank you so much for watching.